Most anime power systems give characters flashy abilities out of nowhere. But what if your power came from something deeply personal, like your old shoes or a broken pair of headphones? In Gachiakuta, powers aren't just tools, they're reflections of who you are. Today we're breaking down one of the most creative and emotional power systems in manga or anime with these 9 points, and showing you why it stands out from everything else you've seen. So, let's begin. Let's start with the foundation of Gachiakuta's power system, Anima. In this world, emotions don't just affect people, they affect objects too. The story is rooted in a spiritual idea from Japanese folklore. If you care for an object long enough, it may develop a soul of its own. This concept is visualized through a mysterious energy called Anima. Anima is born from human thoughts, feelings, and emotional attachment. When someone cares for or cherishes an object enough, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions soak into it over time, and that object begins to absorb Anima. This can include positive emotions or even intense negative emotions. When enough Anima accumulates, it can be turned into raw power. Eventually, it awakens and becomes something much more powerful. A vital instrument, also known as a Jinki. These Jinki aren't just tools, they're manifestations of memory, care, and emotional investment. And in this world filled with discarded junk, the line between trash and treasure is thin. The power system forces us to ask, what is truly worthless? So what are Jinki exactly? Jinki are regular items, worn down, discarded, or treasured, which become weapons or tools through emotional resonance. They contain Anima, the spiritual energy generated by attachment. Once awakened by a giver, a Jinki takes on powerful abilities that reflect the giver's thoughts and experiences. Examples: Enjin's umbrella can spin, block attacks, and even drill through enemies. Momoa's headphones allow her to hear memories when she touches people, without causing harm. Jinki aren't just magical items, they're deeply personal extensions of a person's identity and story. Now, not everyone can tap into the true potential of a Jinki. Only certain individuals called givers can awaken, channel, and manipulate a Jinki's power. A giver is someone who forms a strong emotional connection with an object. Their power doesn't come from training or talent alone. It comes from the meaning they assign to an object. Example: Rudo, the main character, cherished a pair of gloves given to him by his foster father. Because of the care and memories tied to those gloves, they became a Jinki. Being a giver is less about birthright and more about perspective, how deeply and uniquely one connects with something. So, how do Jinki actually work in action? There are 3 core elements that affect a Jinki's function. First, the object itself, the actual item that becomes a Jinki: shoes, gloves, scissors, etc. Second, the giver's perspective. This is crucial. A Jinki's powers are shaped by how the giver sees the item. It's a bit tricky to understand, so I'll explain it with an example. Let's say 2 different people each own a pair of old, worn-out shoes. On the surface, the shoes look exactly the same. Same size, same damage, same brand. But when those shoes become Jinki, they gain completely different powers, depending on how the person using them views the shoes. For example, imagine one giver is a kid who grew up idolizing superheroes, especially speedsters like the Flash. To him, those shoes aren't just footwear. They represent freedom, adventure, and the desire to run faster than anyone else. He used to run laps around the block pretending he was saving the world. In his heart, those shoes mean speed. So when he awakens them as a Jinki, they grant him superhuman sprinting ability. He can dash across buildings, outrun enemies, or even move so fast he dodges bullets. The power is all about mobility and escape, because that's what the shoes meant to him. Now take another giver who grew up obsessed with soccer. To him, those same shoes are connected to his dream of being a world-class striker. He practiced kicking all day, dreaming of scoring the winning goal in a championship. When he thinks of those shoes, he remembers power, precision, and passion. So when he awakens his pair, the Jinki lets him deliver devastating kicks. Maybe powerful enough to launch enemies, create shockwaves, or even crack the ground beneath him. His shoes become weapons that reflect his athletic spirit and his desire to overcome through strength. This is the beauty of Gachiakuta's power system. The object doesn't decide the power, the person's relationship to it does. The same item can evolve into totally different abilities because the meaning behind it is unique to the individual. It's not about what the object is, but what it represents in the heart of the giver. That emotional layer is what turns trash into treasure. And lastly, the third component. The giver's stamina and emotional strength using a Jinki consumes mental and physical energy. The more unique or demanding the ability, the more stamina it takes. Example: Rudo can turn trash into Jinki temporarily, but doing so uses more energy than normal because of the unique nature of his power. Jinki are incredibly diverse because their powers aren't predetermined. They're based on the user's bond and creativity. But for easier understanding, we can group Jinki into a few categories based on their abilities. Attack type Jinki, designed for combat, used to pierce, bash, slash, or otherwise damage enemies. Example, Engine's umbrella transforms into a shield, drill, and high-speed weapon. Defender type Jinki, focused on protection, support, or utility. May not deal direct damage, but offer tactical advantages. Example, Momoa's headphones confuse and manipulate through auditory memory reading. Succession Jinki, inherited through generations, accumulate the thoughts and power of previous givers. Users are called natural givers, and they can wield the Jinki immediately. It's rare, but allows for immense power at the cost of emotional burden. While the powers in Gachiakuta are incredibly creative and deeply personal, they're not limitless. In fact, the system has built-in restrictions that keep it from becoming chaotic or overpowered. And that's exactly what makes it so well balanced. Let's break down the main limitations. Emotional bond. If the connection to the object is weak, the Jinki may not activate or will be unstable. Stamina drain. Stronger powers use more energy. Rudo, for example, tires quickly because his Jinki creation is more demanding. Perspective lock. Powers are based on how you see the object. Once it's set, you can't change it easily. Breakable tools. Some Jinki, especially temporary ones, can wear out or shatter after use. Not one size fits all. You can't fully use someone else's Jinki. It has to match your mindset to work properly. Now, what's the point of having all these crazy powers? To survive the abyss, a toxic, ever-changing world filled with grotesque monsters known as trash beasts. These beasts are formed from the negative thoughts and emotions that gather in discarded trash. They are the literal manifestation of waste and hatred. Only Jinki, objects born from care and love, can destroy these creatures by targeting their cores. This duality, trash versus treasure, hate versus care, is a central theme of the story. And there are cases where givers gain unique abilities. They have exceptional Jinki abilities because of their unique backgrounds or emotional depth. Main example, Rudo can turn multiple discarded items into temporary Jinki. Reflects his upbringing, fixing radios, toys, and machines from the garbage. His perspective gives value to the valueless. His gloves, given to him by his foster father, allow him to unlock the hidden potential in any object. And lastly, another interesting characteristic of givers is that they don't just operate alone. Many join an elite group called the Cleaners. The Cleaners, a professional organization of givers, tasked with hunting trash beasts, maintaining balance in the abyss, and recovering lost items. They use their Jinki for combat, healing, exploration, and sometimes even spiritual or emotional support. Each cleaner brings a unique ability to the team. Their powers often complement one another, leading to incredibly dynamic team fights. Gachiakuta's power system. It is one of the most original and emotionally grounded systems in modern manga. Instead of giving characters random abilities, it ties their powers to their personality, their memories, and their view of the world. It's a system that rewards creativity, empathy, and care, and punishes waste, apathy, and neglect. As the manga continues, we're only seeing the beginning of what's possible with Jinki. And if there's one message at the heart of it all, it's this: nothing is truly trash if someone sees its value.